What's going on? Happy Friday to everyone. Happy post 420. It's me, Swift, coming to you from Houston, Texas. And I'm drinking on a little whistle pig with a little cranberry, ready to get into this topic tonight. We need to have some real conversation tonight. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yo, it's your boy T and the A. Let's get to it. I ain't drinking on nothing 3 weeks in a row. Straight up. I'm proud of myself.
Boy, you want to drink it from the beginning in the first place. But anyway, this your boy Crowley. You know me, I always sipping on some good brown. Definitely, let's get in on tonight. Representing Jacktown.
What's going on, y'all? It's Jay Ward coming to you live from Shreveport, Louisiana. I had a Long Island earlier, but I ain't drinking nothing right now. Oh, Lord.
We can tell your camera been drinking with you.
Man.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Rob coming to you from Tampa by way of Bolton, Mississippi. Drinking on some water because Fee got me doing the Stronger Together fitness challenge for the next 6 weeks. Body Explosion launched today. Body Explosion Fitness and More LLC launched today. Go check out Fee. She's doing some big things. I am super sore right now. So let's get right to it.
So before we get serious, I gotta address this because my TN is drunk. I think he's been drinking all week, starting at 7 o'clock in the morning. We gotta address this. How in the hell do you rank Special K as a top tier cereal, but not Cinnamon Toast Crunch? I don't understand.
Hey, Cinnamon Toast.
60 years old, like what?
For one, Special K has a lot of health benefits.
So
two, I don't eat Special K, but it's still a top tier cereal just because I do not specifically eat it. And then I'm convinced at this point, the people that like Cinnamon Toast Crunch are the same people that probably either snort powder or put sugar in their grits and sugar in their spaghetti at this point.
Special K.
Jay Ward just wants some attention, man. That's all. That's all that was all about. He just wants some attention.
Special K
Frosted Flakes is gourmet.
Special K tastes like the box it come in.
That's why you put the strawberries and the bananas in it.
And that don't help.
Rob, what I tell you earlier, Rob, they just only solidified what I said earlier.
That big country, man.
Special K is absolutely trash. So let's get into it. We had a few requests from viewers, but I feel like tonight should only go to one topic, and we're gonna get deep into it because we've seen a lot of conflicting opinion and debate on social media, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, right? And this is on the heels of the Derek Chauvin trial and the murder, and the killing of Ma'Khia Bryant. I hope I'm getting her name right. So we want to discuss what it means to be Black in America, but more so the comments coming from individuals on Facebook and Twitter about how Black men do not protect Black women based off the comments that they see on Facebook and what they may experience in real life. So I want to ask you guys this question. On the heels of what just happened to Miss Bryant, and you see some individuals say it was justified, the killing was justified, it wasn't justified, we'll get into that in a second, but how do you feel about Black women saying that they are not protected by Black men when it comes to these type of situations, especially when you see other Black women expounding these same viewpoints of the Black men? Like, how do y'all feel about that? What are y'all opinion? Let's vent it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I had a conversation with somebody like that where they was saying that Black women not protected, and because of like a lot of people were saying what the girl did wrong, you know what I'm saying? Like they just kept saying like, oh well, she would have did this and she would have did that. And what I was telling that person, I was like, it's really not a gender thing, you know what I'm saying? Because every time something happens with a Black person, it's always a but behind it, you know what I'm saying? Like we can't never just get it was wrong. It's always but if he would have did this, but if she would have did that, but like, nah, we don't want to hear none of that. It's wrong. Wrong is wrong, man. Right is right. But that's the problem. We always trying to divide or, you know, play oppression Olympics and stuff like that, because it's not really, at the end of the day, if she would have been a man, they would have said the same thing. Why he didn't do this, why he didn't, you know, why did he have a weapon? Just all that stuff, man. So we just can't keep pinpointing and trying to divide ourselves, man. You know, wrong is wrong, man.
Kim, Cinnamon Toast Crunch does not have shrimp tails. Let's stop that lie right now.
Man, I'm with Kim on King
Rat,
Vitamins.
rat droppings and everything.
Man, King Vitamins definitely.
Swift went on week,
Definitely
so
up
he don't
there.
understand.
How do
He
you
had a
feel?
silver
Jay Ward?
spoon.
We
He had
we
a silver spoon in his mouth, man.
had a plastic spoon in my mouth. Jay Ward, how you feel about this topic?
Man, I feel heavy about this topic. It's been for one, I don't watch any videos like trauma videos. I don't watch it because I'm not gonna put myself through it. I did see a still photo from the video, and it looked like she was attacking someone. But my argument with that is, how many mass shooters get taken in? And I'm sure what she was doing was not worse than that. So it's always an alternative. And then, as someone who's had to deal with high stress situations myself, I worked in an alternative school for a number of years. I've served at an inner city boys and girls club. I've been in life or death situations. And it's like, yeah, you making split second decisions, but at the same time, other people are held accountable when they make split second decisions. As a teacher, if I make the wrong split second decision, I'm going to lose my job. I'm not going to get a paid vacation. I'm not going to get anything. I'm just going to get fired. And so, you know, what is the damn point of them holding tasers if you never going to use them? And that if that's never the option, like when is that going to be the option? Also, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a police officer. I'm not a judge, so I can't
Hold on.
render anything like that. Yeah, go
Let's
ahead.
move it back. So we're gonna get into that in a second. I don't want to make it just about Miss Bryan yet. It's more so
Right.
the comments about black women saying that black men don't protect them based off these type of conversations or situations that arise.
You can't lump us all, man. I stay protecting black women. I stay protecting all women. I stay protecting all minorities. So you can't really lump everybody together. Maybe it might be your particular timeline that's like isolated like that. I don't know. But you know, I'm pretty sure the brothers on this panel would defend the honor of any black woman and protect any black woman as much as we can, because we all come from black women. So I can't agree with that.
And you brought up an interesting point. You said that you can no longer watch these traumatic videos. I'm bringing it to you, Rob. That we see it so often, like these murders are recorded, they're placed on social media almost instantaneously. You see people recording with their phones the minute they see something arise. So, Rob, answer that first question. And the second question is, do you think that these videos should continue to be placed on social media for the world to see? Or is this too much traumatic experience, too much traumatic videos? We need to not place them on social media because it's having an effect on the general population. What do you think? Rob, did you hear me?
Oh, I thought you was asking to Jay Ward. Okay, so it's yes and no. Because so I am not a fan of the world looking upon us at our lowest. I've never been a fan of that. It's something I saw a few weeks ago where someone said watching black people get killed has always been a pastime for America. Like they used to have people paying for tickets to watch us get hung. Like they used to, you know, their kids used to watch this stuff for entertainment. And so to me, knowing the historical background behind this thing, it makes me feel a way because it just feels like it's an updated version of seeing us get killed. On the flip side, I believe if people don't see it with their own eyes, they won't believe it. Because I am around a lot of white people daily. And if you have an inkling of a conscience, seeing somebody dead that doesn't look like you will make you have a reaction. Like it will cause you to have some type of sympathy. It will cause you to feel like, okay, this is enough, and I need to help do something about this. And so, like I said, I'm torn on seeing that because I just hate seeing it. It's traumatic, and I think it desensitizes us to our own killing. And we have less sympathy for looking at each other in a down situation.
Fair point, but when you said that we need to see it in white people or other individuals, other ethnicities, wouldn't believe if it happened. What brings to mind is Emmett Till. They wanted to close the casket, and the mother said, "No, I want the world to see what they did to my child," which opened up the door for conversations that needed to take place. Crow, what do you think?
As far as the social media divide, because we let social media dictate a lot in our lives. For those that are on it, and I'm not on social media like that. I'm only on Facebook. But as you all stated, you see a lot of negative posts, whether it's against black male versus black female, or black female versus black male, black female versus black female, or black male versus black male. Um, I used to say fake love, but it's fake unity. We only hang around each other for what it seems like what we benefit from, and it's not the correct benefits. I'll put it that way. A lot of us are not using each other to sharpen each other, to build up. It's just to say I'm around this person who's doing such and such, or this just because I just feel like our unity is fake on so many levels, honestly. As soon as something happens, we come together. As soon as I'll say about 3 months pass, we back to, man, I don't fuck with them like that. Ain't nobody really speaking and holding doors no more for each other. You barely can get two brothers to say what up to each other. You seeing slander from women against other women, so it's just it's
So let me ask you this question with the fake unity. Are you only seeing this on Facebook or social media, or is this a byproduct that's going into real life as well? Because when I'm seeing my black brothers and sisters in real life, these conversations don't take place. I don't hear about how black men don't protect black women. I don't hear about black women attacking other
it's
black
the elephant in the room. We'll talk about everything else. We'll talk about the game last night. We'll talk about who played who. We'll talk about the latest fashion or what entertainment. We even talk about politics, and we'll talk about the latest killing of our black people, or the latest tragedy in the world. But we won't dig deep. We won't sit in a I'll put it this way: we won't have small talk in the grocery store on the level of, do you feel like we're protecting each other? We won't. But we'll say, hey, you saw the game last night? Did you see what craziness happened? Da 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 da. We'll do all that, but we won't have that in-depth conversation with each other just randomly. So it's the elephant in the room.
So I think we pretty much all answered that question. Let me go into the bigger discussion of Miss Bryant, and a lot of people are justifying her being killed by this police officer. You see the buts, you see that she shouldn't have done this, she shouldn't have done that. I think, and if I'm not, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, the facts surrounding the case are she was being bullied. These individuals came to her home where she was living to fight her, and she basically defended herself with a knife and was killed by this police officer because he was assessing the situation. So I guess the bottom line question is, was the police officer justified in killing Miss Bryant? Should she have been shot and killed because she was trying to defend herself with a knife? And Jay Ward, I see you put in the chat, she was just a kid. What do you think?
For one, I'm like, we are always seen as adults. That happened with Tamir Rice. It's like we're always seen as adults. That's why our black women are so pissed off a lot of the times, because they've been sexualized since they was 19 years old. Like, oh, you fast and all this type of stuff. So it's never like we're never able to be looked at as kids. You have little black boys who are athletic getting offered scholarships in 7th and 8th grade because all they see is I'm going to use this boy's body, and I just think that's ridiculous. In 7th and 8th grade, you don't know what that little kid gonna come. He might want to go be in the band. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
And
we're
grown women coming
always
after him too.
and grown women coming after them and all that. It's like, brother, it's like, when does it stop? When can our kids be? I have yet to see media refer to her as a child. She was a kid. And what's also crazy to me is that if a white kid ends up killed by someone, or if they go do a heinous crime, it's like, well, what went wrong? But when it's a black person, it's always like, our first thought is, what did she do wrong that put her in that predicament? We got to get out of that bullshit. So it's like, man, if a black person, end up doing something, I bet his daddy boy now. I bet his mama. So we end up getting in these same stereotypical mindsets as our oppressors. So we start thinking the same way as they do. I bet her daddy wouldn't nowhere to be around. Or why was she with her grandma? Bro, that ain't none of your business. She was a black girl. She was trying to defend herself. I really don't care what she was doing. He should have tried to do something else. All right. I broke up a fight Wednesday. 2 girls fighting, and that's not even my job anymore. I used to do it all the time in alternative school. I had a couple of seconds to assess what's going on. I realized it was 2 young girls, 7th grade. I jumped in, I broke it up. That didn't mean for me to bring all 260 of my pounds and ram one of them into the locker because they were fighting. All I had to do was get in between them and separate them. It's simple as that. Like, bro, you got a chance to do something else first. And then even if you are gonna discharge your weapon, how many times did he shoot him?
4.
4 times? Can't nobody tell me that was justified. I don't care what they say, bro.
And Rob, I'm gonna come to you last because I got a specific question for you. We talked about this in the group chat. Crow, what do you think?
I'm torn. On one hand, like I say, I've seen the video, and you don't know the beginning of what's going on. And first off, I will say, because I just finished training officers, and it looks like it was only one officer on the scene when he first arrived. So he had limited time to assess the scene. It looked like he was being rushed by a young lady who was trying to explain something to her. To his right, that's where the fight was going on. That's where the young lady was going towards somebody with a knife. And I'm just kind of, like I say, give me a little time. I'm looking at it from the officer's point. You see somebody going at somebody with a knife, swinging. The young lady hit the ground. You see the dude swing and kick his leg at her. You see the young lady with the knife go towards the other young lady with the pink on. So the officers face this way now. So, like you say, it's a split-second decision, as Jay Ward said. Now, is knowing what's on the tools of your belt. You should know where your taser at. You should know where your gun at. All right. So a lot of us say, hey, why didn't he go for that taser? Now, if that young lady, because I work in mental health, and honestly, I've had knives pulled on me before, and officers were around doing some of these situations. I had room to escape, to back. The young lady in the pink was pinned up against the car with nowhere to go. So kind of put yourself in that situation. You up against a car with nowhere to go, a knife being swung towards you. Honestly, yeah, you can probably swipe that knife down, but it just depends on how fast that knife is coming at you. Like I said, the officer has a choice on that belt for that taser or that gun. One way he's thinking is, I need to save this young lady's life in this pink. He reaches. His choice was the gun. Saves the young lady's life, immediately ends the threat that was about to hurt the young lady. We would have hoped for the taser to put the young lady down, but you also have to check the statistics of tasers. They have a high statistic of malfunctioning. They also sometimes don't have an effect on people, and she still could have stabbed that young lady at least 4 or 5 times, and then some of us would have been saying, why didn't he shoot and protect the other young lady? So that's a lot going on in the officer's head at that moment. Now, that is a child. Yes, he could have used the taser. Yes, it should have been some more officers arriving on that scene to help de-escalate that situation. If more than one officer showed up, when he would have got the young lady in the pink, the other officers would have rushed the crowd. Before the young lady even would have fell on the ground, somebody would have grabbed her hand, took the knife out of her hand, and we would have never heard about this situation at all.
Mhm.
So it comes down to policies, procedures, within your force. That starts with how many arrive on the scene. That starts with, and we get pulled over and they'll have 7 for one car,
Yeah.
you know. But for this type of call, you had looks like one officer. And yes, it could have been other officers en route. We don't know. But we know when we get pulled over sometimes, that officer wait till the other 6 arrive and then get out the car and they show a force. But this could have been a late arrival and she could have stabbed 2 young ladies, or they could have beat her real bad, took the knife out of her hand. We don't know how that situation could have turned out. It's so many different scenarios. We as a people, yes, she called the police for help. In that moment in time, she probably should have ran. It's okay to run. You are outnumbered. They're coming to jump you. Run. Run while you're on your cell phone to 4 houses down till the police come. Sometimes we got to stop playing heroes for ourselves. And
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Finish your point.
and just kind of I know she was in protective mode. Like I say, this could have played out in so many ways. This just was a bad situation. In this situation, it's hard for me because I train law enforcement and I have been on the side of where law enforcement has laid my ass on the pavement. I've told you all that. But knowing things that I know now, that was a real fine line. Should he be reprimanded? I'm gonna say yes.
Mhm.
Should she have been lunching at that young lady with the knife? I couldn't say yes or no because they were trying to jump her in that situation.
Yeah.
It could have been played out in
Yeah.
so many different ways.
Like if you coming to my house to call
Right.
me this morning,
You
yeah.
supposed
The
But that's
police,
why I have my no trespassing signs up in my yard,
Mhm.
because honestly, that right there, I have every right, because I'm gonna go ahead and debt you even before the police come. I'm gonna call you after I debt you. I'm just being honest. You can keep this on recording and everything, because my no trespassing signs. I didn't invite you to my house. You showed up on my property
Mhm.
and you showed up in a hostile manner, and I'm protecting myself and my property, especially when you showing up in force. So then I'm gonna call the police after I dealt with you because I had to protect myself and my property. So
And,
that's why I say it's so many different situations that could have played out.
and I see the comments. Some saying aim at a large arm or shoulder. You don't have to kill them. Shoot in the air.
The police is
Cops are trained
trained to.
to shoot large body mass, center mass. We're gonna get into that in a second, Carl. But one of the larger points you brought up, one of the larger points, was policy that we're gonna get into in a second. I got a very important question to ask. When a black person is pulled over by a police car, it's just not one. More times than not, it's like 2 or 3. But we'll get to it in a second. T, what you think?
I didn't watch the video, man. It was too much for me, especially after watching them this week. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, like it was just too much. But I do want to say that from what I heard about the video, is we got to do better as a people. You know what I'm saying? Because why is it a world star moment? You know what I'm saying? We always got a world star moment. Everybody just standing around, nobody there to diffuse the
Doing
situation.
nothing, man.
Why are we letting 2 young girls fight? You know what I'm saying? So I'm not blaming the young girl for having a whatever, you know what I'm saying? I'm not blaming the cop because it's just a bad situation to be in, even though you could do something else, bro, besides kill a child. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I get what Crowley's saying, and he's right in a way, but at the same time, like everybody else saying, it's a way to de-escalate a situation. You know what I'm saying? Especially 2 girls, man. It don't
But
take
you
too
all have
much.
to de-escalation. So I train in de-escalation. All right, so we train in those high stressful situations. Like I said, there was one cop. You got the
Right.
young lady rushing towards with the pink. She got a dog in her hand, and the officer's like, "Okay." All of a sudden, you see this fight between 3 or 4 people going on, or at least it looked like it. But it's the young lady with the knife, the other young lady, and the gentleman coming. That's a second situation. You gotta hold on. So, like I say, you pause
Yeah,
it. One
I
officer trying to that de-escalation scene right there. That
No, I get it. I get it. I know it's tough, but that's what I'm saying. Like, why did it even have to go that far? You know what I'm saying? Like, we should be policing ourselves. You know what I'm
correct.
saying? We shouldn't have to depend on the government to stop a fight or to stop kids from killing each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, where are the grown-ups? Where are the adults? And I'm not talking about age, because from what people are saying, it was some older people there. You know what I'm saying? But where are the fucking adults? You know what I'm saying? Like, people that have morals and standards. That's the problem. I've said this at least 3 or 4 episodes. We have a problem with upholding standards and upholding ourselves like accountable in a certain way. You know what I'm saying? But again, I didn't watch the video, so I can't really speak on it to that extent. But I just want to say that we got to do better as a community overall.
So Rob, I'm gonna put you on the spot, and I don't mean to. You don't have to answer the question if you don't want to, because we talked about this a while ago. First question, of course, is what should she have been? What should have happened in that situation? Also, of course, you went into armed services. Rules of engagement state things you can and absolutely cannot do. So my question to you is, why do we have rules of engagement for those citizens that are not citizens of the United States, but citizens outside of the country, and not for police officers where we pay taxes to fund these individuals to do their jobs? So that's the second question I want you to get into.
Okay, so I felt conflicted about this. Conflicted because it was a 15-year-old for one. Conflicted because she was shot 4 times, and so I put it up on Facebook because I felt conflicted, and I got a whole bunch of pushback, mainly from women, because I didn't feel she should be killed, and I had a lot of women disagreeing with me. So that's the first thing, which makes me call super bullshit on all the women saying that it's only men that feel like she shouldn't have been killed, because it was mostly women disagreeing with me about this. And that makes me feel like people just have an agenda to separate us. And I think it's crap. I think it's bullshit. I think we need to stop it. I think we need to stop it, man. Like, we can't take every tragedy that happens in our community to play gender wars. It's stupid as shit. I can't stand it, man. So secondly, one of my buddies, he's frat, by the way, from Mississippi State. He put on here, and it actually outlined exactly what I was thinking. It's a long passage. I'll read it real fast. He wasn't supposed to keep her from stabbing that other girl. He was supposed to know who and why he was shooting someone. He used his judgment, which I agree is what cops do all the time, but judgments can still be wrong, especially without enough information. He didn't have enough information to make this call. He made the call anyway. I think that makes for a bad police officer. Not illegal, but it does mean you're bad at your job. Had he not shot her, she would have likely stabbed the girl, and that would not be on the officer. There was no way for him to determine who was good or bad here, and he made the call based on seeing a knife. He shouldn't have done anything at all because he had no idea if he was making the right call. His training tells him that knife means bad person when that's not always true. I don't think he did anything illegal, but I certainly think he did something wrong. I think that completely outlined exactly what I was trying to get at. Like, it's not illegal, but it's definitely wrong, and the training's jacked up.
And with that, because that's an excellent point, because what if he
It
would have
was awesome.
at the situation, and what if it's 2 grown people getting to the altercation, and the person that owns the house has a gun
Exactly.
shoot someone that's trespassing on their property? Are you going to automatically shoot that person with their gun?
Exactly.
That's a great point. Keep going, Rob.
In the video, Rob, in the video, I didn't watch the video, but those of you that watched the video, did he announce that he was the police?
I think he announced.
I don't. Yeah, he did. He told him to stop or something like that. He gave.
But did he say he was the police?
Like, I think he just said get down. I don't think he said the police.
I don't recall him saying
it was an active situation though, so I don't think it would have mattered.
I don't recall him. Like I say, the young lady immediately from the body camera footage they showed, the young lady immediately he kind of pushed her off to kind of, you know, try to get a control of the situation. I like Rob said, I think he was like, hey, kind of something like that. And it was moving so fast. So, and it depends on how many years of experience he had. That's another thing, because I think, you know, honestly, now a lot of officers are realizing, like you're saying, Rob, you have to assess the scene before,
Yeah.
you know, reacting. You know, that's the thing about it. But it's human judgment. It's human. Was he fearful already? Was his nerves already running? What scene
Is
did he
this a
just
bad
leave?
neighborhood?
Right. What scene did he just leave before this? What is his? So it's a lot that goes into that situation. I'm not gonna say all the situations that they get involved to. I'll just say this situation is just heartbreaking and saddening all around. Like
But I really want Rob to touch on their rules of engagement on the when you're outside the country, like what you can and can't do.
Yeah, so the biggest thing about military rules of engagement is if you mess up in these people's countries, they will kill you. That's the biggest deterring factor in us being in a foreign land. So a lot of people don't know I did route clearance, I did IED finding for half of my career. So when we went to Iraq, we would be in these big, huge vehicles, and we'd be driving down the road looking for bombs. And so usually we'd have vehicle-borne IEDs, they call them VBIEDs, that would try to blow us up because we were trying to find the bombs they were trying to set for the U.S. soldiers and the people in the country. And so we had ROE, rules of engagement, and we had escalation of force procedures that we had to follow prior to us literally killing someone. And so, for example, if we're riding in a vehicle and we see a vehicle pulling up behind us, we have 4 different levels of escalation of force we have to go through. We have to shoot a pin flare, it's basically a flare that we shoot at the vehicle, tell them to slow down. If they keep going, we have to shoot to the side of the vehicle, that's step 2. If they keep coming, we have to shoot into the engine block. That's step 3. This is literally happening within seconds of this happening to us. Mind you, this person could be driving a 500 to 600 pound bomb to try to kill us, and we still have to follow these procedures. The last step is shooting through the windshield and killing the driver. Those are the escalation of force procedures. This was back in 7, 8, 9 when I was there doing this job. And so we have to follow strict procedures, because if every single shot that's fired overseas is an investigation, and if the investigation shows that we did not follow proper procedures, we will be in Leavenworth. I mean, immediately. And so we have, in the military, you can't even have a negligent discharge without it ruining your career, meaning you can't shoot off your weapon just randomly without you getting an Article 15, and your career is probably ruined. And so that is an incentive for us to always check our weapon, clear our weapon, make sure we are practicing muzzle awareness, make sure we're practicing weapon awareness, and make sure we're not just popping off because it will ruin your career. The difference between that and the U.S. is police have carte blanche. They can literally, they're almost the only job where you can kill someone and it won't ruin your career. Like you can mess up and you can still keep your job. With the level of responsibility that police have as far as having a loaded weapon on them and being able to take life, you should have a higher level of responsibility attached to that job. Just like us. When I deploy, I have 3 weapons with me. I have a pistol, I have a rifle, and then I have another weapon. Because I have so many ways that I can shoot someone, if I pop off a round just randomly, my career is done. It's over with. It's done. And so if we had that level of responsibility and accountability with the police in this country, you would immediately see stuff change. Immediately.
So the question now becomes, or 2 questions actually. With so many rules you have to go through in order to even shoot your gun in high stressful situations, why is this not the case for police officers? Like the immediate action of the police officer with Tamir Rice, with Miss Bryant, and several others is pull out my gun and kill this person. Go ahead.
Swift, to be honest, a lot of law enforcement are veterans, are past military, so they know and have this training, honestly. honestly, if you probably look up statistics, it's a lot of law enforcement and military go hand in hand.
Mhm.
Honestly, so I train a lot of officers who are former military individuals.
But
So
if they not former military, do they receive the training that says the very last thing you need to do is kill this person to stop the threat? I'm assuming no, because like I said, we have several situations where we see police officers get out their car and the first step, like with Tamir Rice, the very first thing he did within 4 seconds was pull out his gun and shoot this little kid at a park. Why is this not the case for police officers, but it's the case, and they get funded by our money? Why is this the case?
Accountability.
Right. Why is this the
Punishment.
case not for police officers, but for armed services overseas? And what should we do to instill these policies within the United States to see that these things
because
happen again?
also Swift, you got to remember this: war is about money. War is about money. All wars, low key, are about money.
Well,
Some gain. Let's be honest.
and I'm gonna push back on that, because if wars are about money, which they are, we would see more discharges or people killed overseas in order to war profiteers to make money off of what happens.
So no, so if I'm trying to protect the main resource, which are the people there who can this, that, and the other, do they look at us as Black people as a valuable resource, or as even part of the people? Right. So that's what I'm saying. So they consider them part of that country. You know, that's why it's higher levels to what you do to them versus what you do to us over here.
And Kim said military has stricter laws on that weapon than on protecting soldiers from sexual assault, but that's another discussion. That's a good point.
Swift.
Go ahead, Jay Ward.
I think like the question you just asked, this might be a bad analogy, but feel me on it. Waiters think Black people don't tip. So what do they do in return? Give them bad service.
Give you shitty
So
service.
you don't know if I was going to tip or not. So I'm already coming into serving you with a preconceived notion that you're going to not tip. So I'm going to give you subpar service. A lot of these officers go to majority Black neighborhoods thinking that these people are bad people. They criminals. They shoot. They sell drugs. They take drugs. They got bad upbringing. They're rowdy. So they already go in with a heightened sense of caution and a heightened sense of fear, and probably a heightened sense of disgust. So if they get to the scene and see all this going on, they automatically like, see, here comes some more of them right here. They're responsible for all the killings that go on in our city, blah, blah, blah. So they come in with this preconceived notion. And so that makes them a little bit more trigger happy than they would be if they were going to a suburban neighborhood where they see two white kids with a knife. I had a white friend, who told me he was being bullied all the time, so he started carrying a blade. And then the next time they tried to jump him, he pulled his blade out and was like, "Nah, the next one of y'all that walk up on me, I'm gutting you," because he was protecting himself. If the police officers would have pulled up there, they would have said, hey, let's not be rash, guys. Let's make an honest decision here. So even if that officer, and I'm not saying because we don't know, because if it's just if he would have got out and dumped two in the ground just to let them know that it was somebody on the scene with a gun, them people probably would have dispersed, especially children. So if you already arrive on the scene with preconceived notions, you're going to make the bad decision because you're already showing up there thinking that these people got ill intentions on their mind, not that they're trying to protect themselves.
2 comments real quick. Mimi said there is stock in Black men going to prison. Absolutely. Mom said I was, bro, don't start no shit tonight. We're on a serious conversation. Mom said I was on my way home, just getting off duty, and witnessed a man beating another man. I never even thought about using my Glock. That PR-24. What's a PR-24? Is that a taser? I'm guessing. Was my weapon of choice and handcuffed the young man before backup could even arrive. Police officer motto is, I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. It's a choice, and I can say even though the adrenaline rush was pumping, think they are still trained to think. I think that's the important. So, in the last comment, that's why police should have to live in the areas that they are patrolling. We don't see these type of situations happening in Patton. Okay, Patton. Do we see these situations happen in Jackson, Mississippi?
Yes.
We do. Police officers killing.
We had we got maybe about 4 or 5 that's pending here in Jackson.
Oh wow.
To be honest, they finally got video footage of one that, officer said one thing and the footage showed another. So then, we got the community saying that the officers, literally beat the man to death. So you got that one and I think we got a few more. So it happens, but I think because it's here in Jackson and it's black officers, black men, it's kind of like that desensitization where we're already used to black people killing black people. Oh, okay. He was a black officer. He shot a young black man. Okay.
But the
and
question. Oh, go ahead.
and we and more so in the city, it's like, oh, are they gonna compensate them? Those are the whispers in the wind versus us trying to change anything. It's more so, are we hearing will they be compensated?
And I have seen Jackson a few situations, but those police officers get reprimanded quickly, like they cut them loose real quick. But Eric said that's why police should have to live in the areas that they are patrolling. What policy should we enact, or should we push for to get these to go down?
One of the biggest problems is police and the prosecutor's office usually work hand in hand. Mm-hmm. That's one of the first problems. If you don't have a district attorney's office that is willing to prosecute officers, police officers, we literally just saw it in Kentucky with the young lady that got killed in her sleep in her bed. Like, the attorney general literally, like, he set up the jury to not bring charges against the officers that killed Breonna Taylor. Like, I mean, he set it up to the point where they would not see a trial, because the attorney general's office and the police unions usually work hand in hand, because the police is the one bringing the evidence to prosecute people.
Right.
And so it's like a system that's woven to protect police. You have qualified immunity that protect police from, like, you have so many people like rejoicing that this guy that killed George Floyd got convicted. They were rejoicing because you don't see that happen in this country. Mm-hmm. Like, why is that such a huge thing for a police officer to be prosecuted and convicted for killing someone unjustly? Like, that's a problem. Like, that's an issue. And because so you have laws protecting them. You have the attorney general protecting them. I mean, it's just.
But you touched on it earlier, Rob. You touched on it earlier. It has been such a theatrical show to kill a black man, since the beginning of time. So that's why. If it's been the number one hot ticket item since the beginning of time, why change the channel?
So how do we change it? But we need to change. We see these killings happening. We see celebrating these minuscule wins in the grand scope of things. How do we change the channel? How do we get it to where if you do something to a black person or any person as a police officer, you're going to see repercussions immediately? I'm gonna start with T. We see repercussions immediately.
I didn't agree with all that celebrating and stuff. Like, it just didn't sit well with me, man. Nope. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna. I mean, I get it, and I was happy that he was prosecuted, but that's what was supposed to happen, man. You know what I'm saying? Right. And then if you all over rejoicing, like, oh well, we gave you one. You know,
that's what it was. Just one. Just one.
Yeah, we gave you one. I mean, come on, guys, work with us. No, you know what I'm saying? Every time something happened, something needs to be done. You know what I'm saying? So I really didn't feel that, man. And the only way to change it again, the PC version, is to vote these people out. People that don't have your community interest, vote them out.
And you should will, because she posted a good comment. My thought.
Hold on, Swift. Hold on. That's the PC version. Mm-hmm. The real version, like I told y'all in episode 3, is to go to these people's house and handle your business. Y'all want to gang bang and kill each other and roll on the ops, slide on the ops. Y'all want to do that?
You know Speak on it, brother. Speak on it, brother.
Yeah, you want to go on a roller coaster, you know what I'm saying, on a crash dummy mission for the
Speak on
game,
it.
for your crew, for your clique. Well,
Speak on it.
go on a crash dummy mission for your people.
But
You
I'm
know
a,
what I'm
Right,
saying?
man.
I
If
agree.
that's how you feel, you know. So, and
But
that's where I'm at with it.
let
And
me
I
put
told y'all that since episode 3.
but let me put it back a little bit on that. We saw when George Floyd was killed, and before Derek Chauvin was arrested, they wanted to go to his house. But if I'm not mistaken, his house
And
was protected by
they didn't
how
want
many
to go.
police officers?
They didn't want to go. I'm gonna tell you what happened. You know what I'm saying? With Trayvon Martin, with that whole situation, if we would have nipped that in the bud then, half of this wouldn't be going on now, honestly.
And what you mean nip it in the bud?
But that was a learning lesson. That was a learning lesson. But the next one, I forgot who it was, but it was a white lady
St.
cop.
Louis.
It was a white lady cop, and they really was going to her house. You know what I'm saying? And that's when the police showed up, like 30 deep, trying to protect her house because they knew it was serious. And then when we let her get away, it was over. It was done. We were done. We were done, man. So, but this is a good, like, we are going in the right direction with Derek Chauvin being convicted. You know what I'm saying? So I do want to applaud the win. I will applaud the win. You know what I'm saying? But that's where it stops.
That's a layup in a blowout game is what they gave us. They gave us a
Right.
layup at the end of a blowout game.
Ooh, Rob.
Right. We
That's
down
facts.
by 900, and we
No, they let us dunk it, Rob. That way we can get a. That way we can be like, woo.
So Ayesha Wilkins posted, my thought, are we using the video to show fights and laugh no matter how bad it turns out? Or is the video used to help us with what's going on in the world? I think with the Brian situation, it was the police officer video, not really others recording, but you see others recording all the time just to post on social media. And I guess the first thought is, let me see how many views and clicks I can get with this and not something may turn out bad. Let me record this for future evidence. But that's a mindset within our people. Jay, what I want to come to you is how do we change that mindset within our people to break up these situations rather than trying to get views and clicks on it on social media?
Stop watching stuff like that on World Star. If we stop supporting it, they'll stop posting it. We got to stop doing it. It's like we clicked to somebody. I was on this group and somebody posted this video of this fight. I kept rolling past. I don't watch stuff like that. I've been stopped that. I was trying to explain to my students. I'm like, y'all better stop running towards fights. Even the Bible teaches you to flee from danger. I'm like, because I've seen fights where somebody just all of a sudden pull out a gun and start dumping. And so
Yep.
I'm like, bro, while you right there trying to, click for likes and stuff like that, you end up
You end
up getting shot. You're a bystander. You're a bystander. Also, police work on the good old boy system. So do college football teams, the school system, all that. They work on that good old boy system. And, it's just like, hey, dog, I would have done that too. I would have shot him too. I got your back. Back to blue. Like all of us on this panel, we're all alpha beta. So how many times have we stood up for our brother? It's like, look, I don't know why you fighting, but I'm jumping in. And we'll talk about the details of it later. Police ride for each other harder than anyone else in any other profession. When someone does something wrong in the teacher profession, they instantly turn on them like, he does not represent all of us. She does not represent all of us. But police will stand there and back that person in wrongdoing nonstop. And I just get tired of that. But here's the thing, and this is what I really want to say, but I know it won't work. We tried to police ourselves with the Black Panthers, and the government shut the shit down because we were doing too much good.
But it
We
worked.
were doing
Exactly.
too much
It was
good,
working.
man. We was
It was
doing too
working.
much good. They had to shut us down, man. I'm like, bro, we don't need y'all. Stop coming to our community. We'll police ourselves, man.
Did you watch Black Jesus? I mean, yeah, Black Jesus and the Messiah, Black Judah and the
Judas and the
Messiah.
Black Messiah. Yeah, I did, and it was just, man.
Because if I'm not mistaken,
J. Edgar Hoover, man, bro.
Oh yeah.
But in your history books, he's a hero.
Swift, you need to watch that.
I'm gonna watch
the movie, bro.
I'm gonna watch it. But if I'm not mistaken, they showed up in California marking around their neighborhood with guns, saying if you come try us, you gonna get met
Bro,
with and
They were smart.
go watch that movie, bro.
They
Go watch the
passed
movie.
legislation to shut down guns right then and there, and the NRA supported the gun legislation to shut it down.
But they have gun clubs all the time.
And they have
They have gun clubs all the time.
exactly. And you
And
see
if you see a video, of a young black child being trained with a weapon, or you training them to be a gangbanger.
It's
But if you see
demonized.
somebody else of a different race being trained, train them up right, train that little girl up right so she can defend herself. And it's like, damn, we can't win for losing.
Yeah, that's true. But so what do we need to do?
Build a community is the simplest answer, I guess. Because if you built the community and those girls felt like they had different options other than to resort to the violence, which that don't work all the time, because sometimes you just I got into fights and I'm the most docile person you ever want to meet. But sometimes that's just the only way to solve it. You whoop somebody's ass and then you move on. So it's like, I can't say community building would have been the solution to that problem.
But it's a large problem because, like you said, you see it with the children. We see it on social media with men and women, the gender wars, black men and women, both on Facebook, Twitter.
We don't hold
I deleted my Twitter.
Swift, we don't hold ourselves accountable in no way when it comes to any of this. It's all for likes. It's all for being popular at that moment. It's not about my morals, holding myself accountable for my morals or my values or uplifting the community. No, I got to show my community bad. I got to show Tay this. I got to show that we don't play over here on this side. It's all for a fucking facade for no reason. Like, it's for the wrong reasons. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to be the baddest and the toughest. Everybody wanna be from around the way. That's the thing.
So we get the bad reasons, right? The gang banging, the rap songs where people idolize these rappers who rap about killing and coming up famous off of it. How do we get to that good side? How do we get?
Well, first, it comes from resources. Like, you got to think about it. A lot of the rappers say they ain't come from none. Shoot, half of us, Bolton. You got Bolton in here. You got from everywhere. Laura, Jackson. We all had our struggles. So let's start with putting stuff in the community, resources within the community. Like I say, a lot of us took flight from where we are literally from in our other cities and states. And we are that main resource, but then wondering why when we go back to our homes, why is it like this? This state ain't gonna never, or this city or this county ain't gonna never become nothing. But when your main resource, your brilliant minded people are leaving, I know they not paying shit. I know that's what everybody's saying. Ain't nobody paying nothing. Ain't nobody money. Mm-hmm. So if the dollar all of a sudden didn't have fucking value, what the fuck you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously. So we all struggle at some point. It's all about your grind, your hustle, and making a way. You just got to find your niche. I either come back every weekend. You can't talk shit about where you're from if you're not really reaching back and really doing shit. And that's real. I hear everybody saying Jackson trash, but it's a lot of, I'm gonna call it like it is, trash ass people who not reaching back, since you want to call it trash. You know what I'm saying? Just because you come back for a weekend to celebrate for homecoming or a quick family reunion, don't mean you giving back. You know what I'm saying? We got youth out here that's running a fucking muck in the city. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it's some out here that's trying to talk to them. You got people, we're trying to figure it out. But don't be talking shit from the state that you in, and you ain't trying to come back knowing that your black ass from here. You know what I'm saying? Don't be on, oh, that's why I left Jackson all on social media. Jackson ain't gonna never get right. Well, it's gonna get right because you, the main resource, who brilliant minded, who possibly can talk to one of these young individuals or bring some to it, you gone. You taking your talents elsewhere. You done pulled a LeBron and went to Miami.
Now I think my
whoa. LeBron didn't deserve that straight. Come on, Crow. LeBron ain't deserve that straight.
He kind of got a point. But my political science professor called it the brain drain. All the smart individuals, well, not the smart individuals, but those that can contribute to the resources and tax base of Jackson, leaving for better opportunities elsewhere. T, what do you think? What do we need to do?
Man, I told y'all this episode 3 too. Like my pops told me, the best way he could do for the world is to make sure that I'm not part of the problem. So if everybody handle their business, everybody make sure that their kid is not a part of the problem, we will be in a better situation. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people out here that's raising themselves, don't have anybody to look up to. So Crow is right. You know what I'm saying? Like I should be in law doing more. You know what I'm saying? Even though I feel like I do I do enough, you know what I'm saying, as far as a figure, you know what I'm saying? I'm someone that they can look up to, I'm someone that they can come holler at. All my partners have been out here, you know what I'm saying, get inspired and you know, I give them game and all that stuff. So I'm doing my part in my own way. But Crow is right about that brain drain, man, you know what I'm saying? Because if like I know at least 20 people from law or in my in my class or near my class that are doctors, business owners, and I'm not talking about you know small. I'm talking about like real time, like big people come from law, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I just be thinking like, man, what if we all was back in the community like we supposed to? You know what I'm
So you're
saying?
gonna be on hometown and get you a house in law?
But that's the thing. They got to have the funds to open up a private practice for the whoever the doctor is. T got to be
Right.
able to have the funds to open up a studio in an IT building. You know,
Yeah.
that's the thing about it. You know, we gotta. Are everybody going? I seen everybody going crazy in the Doge coins and all these investments. Are you gonna be selfish, or are you gonna say, "Hey, T, I made this much. Hey, Swift, I made this much. Hey, let's go pool our money in." Or you gonna be selfish and say, "No, listen here. I'm gonna go get the latest G-Wagon that came out. I'm gonna go instead of being in this 2-story house, I'm gonna go get a 3-story. Either we finna go to Miami for the game. This da 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 da. You know, let's be honest. We put
You
our
don't
part.
know my life, nigga.
Hold on,
You
we
don't know my life.
Hey, I'm just, I'm just,
You don't know my
hey.
So T got a
Hit
G
dogs,
wagon.
hit dogs holler, and I'm one of them. I'm one of the people hollering.
we're not putting
playing.
him in this, man.
I'm
We
one of
not,
the
Man,
people
man,
hollering. You
real.
know what I'm saying? But
You
that's
real. I
this
am
the
going
type
to
of talks
Miami
we
though.
need to have, though. This
yeah,
the talk.
but why Miami got to catch strays? Like it's Jack State
I
versus.
don't know.
Constant strays.
Hey,
Well,
Go ahead, Jack.
hey. I don't know. I'm just trying to hit home. I'm trying to make sure I touch our souls tonight.
No,
That
nah,
way, when we get off the podcast, whoever watching, maybe it'll stir you up to go talk to somebody else tomorrow about something. It'll stir them up to go talk to somebody else. That's all. Just trying to hit some nerves.
Go ahead, Jay.
I agree with what T's saying, and I think we got to think about our biggest influences. For one, it's going to be your parents or whoever's raising you. Two, most of us grew up in the church. The church is not real about issues like this. It's the same reason why there's a pregnancy issue in the church because no one's
Most
being
churches.
real about it.
All churches.
Huh?
Said most churches. We're gonna put it on all churches. We say most
Not
churches.
yeah, not all churches, but it's like there's a pregnancy problem because nobody's saying like, hey, look, when you're unprotected and you're not making the right decisions, it's gonna end up in pregnancy. They saying be abstinent. That's it. So it's like you got to be real about this stuff and stop sugarcoating it. It's like it's people being shot around the corner from the church, and ain't nobody really saying nothing about it. They blaming everything else except themselves. So I think we got to be real about that. Um, the big homie is another influence in the streets. I remember the first time I had any interaction with that. You know, the dude was like, "I just want you to ride around on your bike, and if you see the police officer, I want you to just get on the radio and just say something." That was my little job, all right.
But
But
you listen, Jay Ward. You listen.
I
These little
did.
cats
But
don't listen.
outside of that, it was also like you don't want to end up like me. You don't want to do this. You don't want to do that. These dudes these days, like, yeah, come on over and be just like me. And it's like, we got to stop that. Also, like Crow's saying, you got to keep resources in town, in house, or at least in neighborhood. Or if you're not going to do that, because I understand you want peace of mind, you want to go somewhere else. At least keep your ear to the ground. And if you if you know that you can financially contribute to your old high school or something like that, do that. Or if you know you can come and give, like I listened to a great motivational speaker just last Tuesday who came to talk to my high school. His name is Joel Ware. He's an actor, motivational speaker. Incredible story. Unfortunately, he went to Southern, but outside of that, he's a really good dude. And he was just speaking to the kids, and he was like, "I did 7 years. I don't want you to end up doing 7 years. The people who I went to jail with are either dead, back in jail, or you have a very few of them that might be, finally got their head on straight." Like, he spoke with passion. He's giving back, and it doesn't get all of the accolades, that it might say. But Crow, you make a difference. Rob, you make a difference. Swift, T, y'all making differences every day, and it doesn't make the news, but we got to keep pushing, and we cannot grow weary and well doing when it comes to that.
Good point. Zay, what? Hold on. I was done with hypocrisy in the church when this girl was talked about for having a baby in high school by a woman that husband had a baby on her. Okay. Okay, we're not gonna get into religion on this episode because that's a whole. We'll be
Say said 7 years was jail or years at Southern.
He was in jail 7 years, then he went to Southern and did some more jail time.
I don't see the difference. Right. What must we do? We heard Crow, we heard Jay, we heard T. What must we do to get to where we need to be as a community, as a people, and stop all the gender wars, the black on black hate, so on and so forth? What must we do?
The first thing is we are all damaged. Every single last black person in this country is damaged. And so until we can take accountability for our own actions, we are doomed. Like, that's the first step. Like, I see so many people, pointing the finger, pointing across here, pointing across there, pointing across here. I see so many people excuse actions from certain people and then criticize actions from other people. Like, that's an immediate issue. Like, you can't ignore actions from women that are toxic, but then demonize those actions from men, or vice versa.
Yeah.
Like, you can't excuse actions from your boys, but demonize actions from women. Like that's one of the biggest issues. Like, no one's consistent. There's no consistent morals, no consistent rules, no consistency across the board at all. And that's one of my biggest problems is, like, we're not consistent. Like, we'll be mad about this situation and okay with this situation, and they're the exact same, but because the person looks like us, we'll excuse one and then demonize the other one. Like, why can't we just be consistent? The second thing is what T said. Like, what T said, his pop told him, is what I'm trying my best to do. Like, I'm using every single ounce of strength in my body and my brain to make sure that we are helping our kids prepare for this world they're about to go into, and that they won't be a hindrance or a problem for anyone else when they get out into the world. I watched The Breakfast Club. I know a lot of people hate Charlamagne, but I watched Breakfast Club yesterday. Master P was on there with his two youngest sons. I'm telling you, man, these boys are squared away. Like, you can tell how they look at him when he's talking, that he spent significant time with them. You can tell how they talk about themselves and about their plans, that it's not just him with his hand in them like puppets. They are mature, they're intelligent, they're smart, they're aware of their surroundings, and you can tell that he spent time pouring into them. And so I feel like as a parent, that's one of the best. But I can't pour into anyone if I'm empty. I can't pour into kids if I'm not together. Like, that, it's a whole bunch of people pouring into children, and they're pouring poison into them. Like, you can't pour into someone if you don't know where you are mentally, physically, spiritually, etc. And so you can tell that he's got himself right, and he's now trying to get his kids right.
Mm-hmm.
And so I applaud that because I'm working my way to doing that. I agree with Crowley also. And so Fee has always told me she feels like that we're going to be back in Bolton, and I'm going to run for some type of office, because every time I go there, I see stuff. I'm talking to people. I'm going to schools, and I'm talking to kids. And I feel like eventually that's where I need to be because I've gone out into the world. I've seen the stuff that I feel needs to be fixed. I have my education. I have some type of spiritual and physical backing, and I feel like I have something I can bring to my home city because I feel like they need it. And so I feel like I'll eventually end up back there. And so I agree with that as well because I feel like there is a computer fixing business that I can open up in the town of Bolton. I feel like there's, something I can contribute financially or just contribute just by words or just by my presence being there that could change one child's life. You just never know. But the last thing is we have to be united towards a specific goal. I feel like the best thing that came out of Donald Trump's presidency was showing us how we need to stick together and we need to push to a certain goal. And I hate that we had to have that to make us do something, but I saw people coming out and voting for things that people haven't voted for in years. But it shouldn't take that for us to roll in the same direction for some type of progress and change. And so we got to be more united. We have to talk to one another off social media, in person, work through what we got going on, and try to roll in the same direction.
And I think that's the biggest part, not talking to each other via social media, like really talking to people and seeing if these issues that's on social media really exist in real life, because I don't see these things that most people say on social media. But 3 things I think we can all agree with tonight that's been said tonight. Number 1, Ma'Khia Brown should not have been killed. Period, point blank.
Rest in peace to her.
Number 2, what Rob just said, you cannot pour into someone if you're empty. That is a word. And I tell my students that all the time. You cannot take care of someone else if you're not taking care of yourself. And number 3, Jay Ward cannot be trusted because Cinnamon Toast Crunch is the best cereal on this earth.
No, Frosted Flakes is the best cereal on this earth.
Hell
Hey,
no.
Swill.
Go ahead.
Say this. Let me say this too, and I agree with what Rob is saying. I also agree with John Harris. Like reprogramming minds. But just think about this, man. And that's why people made such a big deal out of Black Panther, because representation means everything. I was watching Black Panther with my son in the movies, and he missed this moment. He didn't understand why I was like, I had goosebumps. But King T'Chaka had made it to the ancestral plane, and here comes T'Challa to talk to him, and he was on his knees, and he say, "Stand up, you a king." And I was like, damn, it's just that one line just blew my mind. And so now my son can see that you don't have to kneel to nobody because you are a king. And that's a nerd moment from me as well. But then for that, I know Snowfall is a good show. I know Power is a good show. All American is a good show. But you're constantly seeing yourself as a criminal, as a negative, and things like that. So we need those shows because they're great. But you also need balance with Black Panther and Hidden Figures and things like that. So that representation matters. So you can see yourself in multiple lights, and so other people can see us in multiple lights as well. Because if you are, and I've said this before, if you are a white person or somebody that's non-Black, and the only time you see Black people, it's a music video, it's a basketball game, or it's on the news, then you would think that we're either sexual beings, thugs, or athletes. So you don't see all the other stuff that we that encompasses us. You don't see people like T whitewater rapping. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you never see that, then you don't think we do stuff like that. You don't see Crow in front of the fireplace. You don't see Swift teaching his students flexing. You know what I'm saying? Because Swift been flexing the whole time he been hosting the show tonight. Y'all don't see him steady like
Yeah, man.
you saw it too, T. I'm like, why is Swift steady flexing?
I'm about to purge Jay Ward.
Swift been in the gym and he's trying to flex on us, man. Come on, man.
I ain't even gonna remove you, but
you look good, LB. Do your thing.
But to Kim and Larisha, y'all keep talking about me and Cinnamon Toast Crunch and full beers. I will block y'all from the comments.
You want me to tell you? Kanye West said it best. We all kind of live by this motto. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Like in his song, you. There's one thing that come out of everybody's mouth at some point. Man, can't nobody tell me shit. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Who gonna tell me this? And so you talking about us coming together and talking the first time somebody has a a disagreement or some type of rebuttal. Oh, they ain't following. They can't listen to my opinion. I ain't finna argue with them. It's not an argument. We have to sit down and literally hash shit out. Yes, you're gonna have some back and forth because we all are fucking different. But we got to get out of that fucking mind frame of can't nobody tell me nothing. Like seriously, as black fucking people, you
Right.
know, that's the thing about it. You know, once you kind of work past that and be willing to understand, we're gonna have some rebuttals and back and forth to get to know each other and get a fucking comprehension and understanding of one another. Then we'll be able to move forward because we're always looking at our back and forth as being aggressive or angry, just as the others see it. As soon as we say something back, oh, they being aggressive. Oh, no. It's okay for others to say things back in order to get shit hashed out. Honestly. So
And,
we got to get to that.
and let me go back to an earlier point that Jay Ward just made about being shown on social media or the media in a certain way, and other ethnicities only seeing us in a certain way. I was speaking with a few people, and they're in counselor programs, and they said the first time that they had a conversation with a black person was in the classroom in their master's program, like a real drawn out long conversation. And also this Netflix show that just came out, Two Strangers. Netflix, I think with Joey Badass, he had this situation where he was reliving this horrible day over and over and over, talking to police officers. It's a byproduct of what's been happening to Black America. The police officer said, "Well, this is the first time I've spoken with a black person in this type of, conversation ever, right?" So I think representation does matter. Seeing black people in different lights, other than just dribbling a basketball or going to jail or rapping, I do think that it's important. But we as people need to push those narratives as well, right? That's what I think, anyway. What do y'all think?
Hey, can I jump on what Crow said too?
Go ahead.
And it was like as soon as he was saying it, I was already writing that down. It's like one thing I do think though, us as black men, just speaking specifically to what's represented on the panel tonight, we can't always go at the young homies on like, hey, y'all motherfuckers fucking up. Not saying as you, Crow, I'm just saying in general, like we can't always be aggressive, especially to a generation that resents authority and resents that because people a lot of times are always talking at them and down on them and not listening to them and appreciating their feedback. So that doesn't work on a lot of people. And I think some of them, they really just need a hug, and they just need like somebody to real like, look, bro, are you here because you trying to, what I'm saying, run for office? Are you here because, you just trying to pad your own conscience or whatever? Or are you really here because you down for us? Because if you are really here for that, I'll listen to you. That's why I think a lot of kids like a lot of black kids don't really listen to white people because they feel like you don't understand what I've been through. Even if that white person had went through exactly the same thing that they went through, they always feel like you don't know what it's like to go through this. So it's like, sometimes we have to be strategic in our approach. Some kids need that coach love, like that, hit you in the chest or in the arm, type love to get you going. But some of us also need like that pastor love where it's just like, young man, you're gonna make you some out yourself and all that type of stuff. So you got to be kind of strategic in your approach and kind of read the room because I hoop a lot with young kids and they're always like pretty aggressive toward me. And I'm like, hey man, I'm trying to help you get to the league. He's like, oh man, you think I can play in the league? I'm like, yeah. And so it changed the whole dynamic just from those few words right there. And it's like, instead of saying, hey little nigga, man, you gonna respect me, it's like you gotta earn respect. So we gotta kind of be strategic on how we, this crowd might need that, this crowd might not. So we just got to be kind of strategic with that.
I just want to pull up and shine like the street niggas, man. You know what I'm talking about? But not be the street nigga that I was, you know what I'm saying? Like with my Cuban, you know what I'm saying? With my car, I just want to whip up with my rollie on, you know what I'm saying? They be like,
In
damn,
your
man,
G Wagon.
But
T,
T,
man, what?
you gotta teach him,
They
you
be
gotta
like,
teach
no,
him how to get to it.
T do his computer thing, man. They be like, oh, for real? He coming like that? That's all I want to do, man.
Yeah, you gotta teach him how to get to it though. You know what I'm saying?
What I'm trying to do, man. That's it.
That's the thing about it. And also I want to definitely let my baby know we can get wet and I can
Oh man.
Hey, I like that, man. brothers rap too. It's going down. Swift, bring your ass to Georgia, man, so we can go.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna come. Hold
I
on.
don't
My
believe
Facebook messed up.
it.
They have issues with accessing Facebook. But we're gonna get to final thoughts now because y'all running out.
We said we had to say, bro.
Final thoughts, brothers. No, T.
No, J Ward got it.
Okay.
I just want to say, man, let's love on our young homies, let's love on our young ladies, man, and just make them feel like something. And I think that's like half of the battle. Just like, and sometimes I sound like a broken record on here and in the classroom. And I told this one girl, I was like, you know why people talk to you so reckless? Because you respond. And she was like, but it's hard. I'm like, it's not. Just stop responding to that. And I'm like, if I told you one thing, the coach down the hall told you another thing, and the principal told you another thing, that's because we all have your greatest interests at heart. But also on the same side of that, like Rob said, you can't pour from an empty cup. So if you feel like, and especially like Crow, you work in a high, you work in an environment where you see this all the time with, young ones constantly falling by the wayside and stuff like that. You work in mental health. So it's like we have to make sure we're protecting our own mental health and we're not bringing that stuff home and we're not letting it weigh down on us as well. So now we feel defeated and we feel like there is no hope because there is hope. And, I think we can constantly, build on the momentum. And, a lot of our cats, especially our athletes, have really been stepping up to try to, create that change. And T, if you could take me around in the Tesla, man, I sure appreciate
I
it, man. I
don't
just want to
have no
ride.
Tesla, man.
Man,
I
T, you
don't
ain't
have
got
no
to do all that, man. You ain't got to do all that, man.
No
Let me ride in the
Tesla, my
Tesla.
guy.
All right, bet.
But my birthday, boy.
No comment. No
There you
comment.
go.
We had a good episode. I ain't gonna get to it.
All right.
Crow, final comment.
Final comments. Let's get real about the unity. Let's have real open conversations with each other and just not the bullshit conversations on the latest bag, latest games, latest entertainments, the fake politics. Let's start within our own community. If you're from state and you move somewhere, see what you can do. You know what I'm saying? Even if you can just donate a couple of books back, even if you send back old clothes to the nearest group home or what have you. You're doing something to uplift your community. Also, when it comes to the youth, there's different approaches. That's how I approach the youth when I talk to them. Some you do have to kind of go at. Some you can go immediately and be soft with them, and that's what they need, love. Some you have to show structure and discipline right off. It's just different approaches when it comes to the kids. Definitely agree with Rob. That's going to be the word for this show. We have to make sure we're together and we're properly full of the right stuff within our cups while we're trying to pour out. And if you know you don't have what it takes to pour into that search situation, find your lane. Everybody is not built to talk to kids. Everybody is not built to work in mental health. Everybody is not built to be law enforcement. Everybody is not built to be professors. Everybody is not built to be IT. Find your lane. Find what works best for you and build that up. And people will remember, and they will remember you. That's how you build your legacy. That's how you really leave shit behind. Money you leave behind don't matter. Trust me, your name will carry on in the community amongst, especially, let's say we all gonna have kids, for Lord pray say the same. And when they have kids, somebody gonna end up saying, man, I heard that Dr. Swift, your great granddaddy, taught my such and such and did this. And they was able to help them. And that's why my family got this right now, man. Your people some good people. That's all they're gonna say is your people some good people off some you did years ago for somebody years ago, building up. So that's how we do it. That's my word.
Y'all really want to go to the strip club too, huh? We talking about Oh man, go ahead, Rob.
Hey, wait.
She said brothership too.
Building the community. You can build the community up by seeing those young ladies doing that entertainment. Some of them, there's ballet, there's funky jazz, there's a lot. Those are different art forms being performed. So that is not a bad look. You know, that's literally
Sex
art.
work is work.
Well, I will say working. Never mind. Never mind. But I'm not. I don't go to strip clubs as often at all. It's been a long time since I've been to a strip club. They are fun though.
Boy, your mama know you go to the strip club?
Listen, me and Eve went to the strip. I'm gonna wait till they come on so we can tell this.
I gave him a couple of dollars a few times ago. You know.
So he not coming back on tonight. He is not. Go ahead, T. Your final thoughts.
I just think we got, like I said, we got to do better as a community, man. I'm always preaching that every episode, you know what I'm saying, holding each other to standards. We need to bring back morals, you know, and don't be afraid to be the outsider. Don't be afraid to be the person that stands up for yourself or to stand 10 toes down on your beliefs, you know what I'm saying? A lot of time we get swayed or we be scared to speak out because we don't want to be counseled and all that. But somebody has to be the bad guy to say, no, y'all acting like some niggas. You know what I'm saying? It's perfectly fine to be that person to call out the BS. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, like I said, we just got to do better as a community, stand up for each other. And, you know, tomorrow is another opportunity. It's another chance to be whatever you want. You create whatever you want to create. Your reality is in your hands. You know what I'm saying? So we don't have to worry about the police and worry about this and that. Let's just try to do our part in our community before we even have to call the police. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I got for you. And we going rafting, man. So if y'all really serious about that, let me know, because we gonna definitely go, man.
Sure, man. Mama Swift can practice on the water bed.
I'm gonna have to shoot crow. Like I'm gonna have to drive to Jackson next weekend and shoot crow. But Kim, you right, and yeah, who asked Jay? It was a strip club in Lake Village. It was off the highway. I forgot the name of it. The small.
It's always off the highway. It's
right?
Always off the highway. In Alexandria, it's off the highway.
But it closed before I could actually go and was old enough to go and see who actually worked. I don't know if I wanted to see that though. I don't know, because it's some country folk, and you know, Lake Village is one of them small country towns, so it's the black side and the white side, and the white folks. I don't know if I want to.
She gonna pass you the cigarette while she on
Right?
like hold this.
No. So my final thoughts: we are going whitewater rap.
Skip me.
Huh?
You skipped me.
You skip Rob.
Oh, I thought you did your final thoughts. My bad. Go
Put
ahead,
some
Rob.
respect on my line, bro.
My bad. Go ahead, Rob. Rob been preaching all night. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I want y'all to go outside and talk to real people off of your electronic devices. That's what I want. Every single Father's Day, a lot of the women I see in the comments here are either posting about, you know, their dad, you know, he's an awesome dad. They posting about their brothers, you know, he's a great dad, he's a good dude. You know, they posting about their homies, you know, their boys, you know, they're great dads, great dudes. And then in the same sentence will say that black men don't care and protect black women. Like we have to give everybody specific grace. You know, we have to give everybody specific grace. Have to. We can't paint all black women with a broad negative brush. We can't paint all black men with a broad negative brush because there's enough people outside of our community doing that to us already. And that's the same stuff that is getting us killed, literally, is the negative connotations and broad brushes that the world is painting black men and women with. And so if we're doing it to ourselves, we are no better than them. And so we have to give each other grace off of social media, talk to people in your lives, and if you don't feel protected and you're talking to your homies, tell them that. And let's have a dialogue and a conversation before you throw us all in the trash and then it becomes this tit for tat BS where it's not helping anybody. That's it.
But to the final thoughts, we are going whitewater rafting. But the biggest takeaway is, like Rob said, you can't pour it out of an empty cup. Please take care of yourself. I don't. I really don't think that black men are out to be against black women. That may be a social media trend. It may get clicks. That may be good for memes, but it's not good for our people. We need to change that narrative. Even if it is true, we need to start working towards what can be done to better the situation. And like I said at the beginning, she shouldn't have been killed. Miss Bryan should not have been murdered, period, point blank. We need to change the policies around policing in our community so we can see better results and start holding these people that take money from us, our paychecks, accountable. They are tax-paying civil service, well, tax receiving civil service. That should not be the answer, is pulling up 3, 4 seconds, 10 seconds and killing a person because you think they are a threat. I don't buy that. What else did we talk about tonight? Last point. Once again, do not trust Jay Ward when it comes to an opinion on anything. Cinnamon Toast Crunch is the best cereal, period. No other.
I have Swift.
Nope.
I have a question.
Nope.
I have a question.
Nope.
It's not about cereal.
Go ahead.
All right, y'all. This is a serious question. Swift, do not purge me. I'm serious.
Go ahead.
I just want to know, would Swift be as mad if one of these young ladies was trying to snatch his daddy up?
What's low key Swift now, man?
That's what I want to know.
No, this is just the friend. He called me and checked on me every day.
Answer is I would be because my father is married.
That's a cop-out answer, but okay.
It's the truth.
He's not really mad. He talked to me. He called me like every other day, check on Step Baby, It's good.
Mimi, shut up. Anyway,
right? They trying to treat your daddy like Mr. Biggs, man. They trying to set him out,
right? But see, you know what? Let's not talk. We're not gonna talk about it. So I want to thank everyone for coming out. We are going to go whitewater rafting, and we are going to host a live event. We'll start planning it soon, and we're gonna have a good time. But we do need to have these conversations in real life with real people, not on social media. And we need to. I said this a few episodes ago. Listen to understand and not listen to debate and get your point across. We need to start doing better as a people.
True.
All right. Well, that's all I have. Y'all have a great evening. Crow, I'm about to mute you because I ain't got time for it. And y'all have a great night.
I got the power to unmute myself from your stepdad, son. Remember that.